Hello. Hi, everybody. How are you tonight? Yeah, I spilled coffee like literally everywhere, rushing, trying to make it, but I'm here and I still have coffee, so everything is well in the world. Happy Tuesday. Hi, still healing. How are you? Hey, Adriana. Thank you so much for joining me. And how is everybody doing? How's your Tuesday been? How's your week been so far? It's been good. No complaints from me. I'm here, narc free, doing the best that I can. But tonight I wanted to talk about. Well, I wanted to talk about the impotent narcissist, and this is kind of like a story time because this was part of my experience, and I just kind of wanted to highlight how the narcissist can, take their sickness, take what's going on with them, and actually, hide it from you, but then use that against you. I mean, like they're slimy, they're grimy, they are crazy. Thank you, Adrina. Hello, Warrior Wanda. Thank you so much for joining us. I saw Hillary. Hi, Hillary. Thank you for being here. So, I'm going to talk about that impotent narcissist and then get into a little Q&A to see, what's on your mind, what would you like to talk about, and just take it from there. So, the impotent narcissist, like, you know, um, I think that's part of their inbuilt karma because sex was everything to this man. Hi, Shayna. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. You are such a sweetheart. Hi, Eileen. Thank you for coming. So yeah, I was saying like I was going to talk about this impotent narcissist, right? And I'm sure this person's going to be in the feed at some point because they just don't know how to stop or how to stay away. Always got to be nosy and involving themselves in what doesn't really concern them. But we're good. But anyhow, one thing with narcissists or different narcissists, like especially like the sexual narcissist, is that sex is everything to them. Their game matters to them, the way that they perform, how they perform, and how many people they're able to bed, and all of those things matter. With the narcissists, we've talked about that they weaponize sex, and it becomes like a tool that they use against you. It's like when you want it, they don't want to give it to you, and when you stop trying to get it, they want to give it to you, and it's just all back and forth games. But I didn't know that this man had any problems until we were breaking up, until, the relationship was actually ending. In fact, I didn't know until it was actually all the way over, all the way done. You see, what had happened was, I noticed like within our relationship that there was things going on that didn't make any sense. And so I was like, okay. But I never pressed it because I already knew, like, if I ask, this is how it's gonna go back. Or not ask like, hey, but you know how we do it, right? So I just kind of let it go and let things slide. And I would notice, and it's so nasty because we know that narcissists, many of us have experiences like this. And I believe Tanya did a video about this. Just say no to narcs a few days ago, if not a week ago, about how the narcissist can be so nasty and not take care of themselves, as in their personal hygiene is not good. But the whole time I'd known this person, his hygiene was great. But it was during this period, and I guess this was like the devaluation, and it should have been a sign that a discard was coming. But then I did not know. Hey, Holly. Hello, Nikki. Hi, Roxy. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So, I didn't know, but looking back, hindsight is 2020. So they say I that was a sign that something was wrong, because we weren't as active as we normally were, and I was just like, okay, mentally I'm taking notes, like, okay, but not knowing what it meant. But he would start doing things like, just be real sloppy, not take care of himself, knowing that that was going to disgust me, knowing that that was going to, just totally turn me off him. But I was already turned off anyway because things weren't adding up. And, and for him, sexual performance, like, personal growth now just said that they love to invalidate sexual performance. but for him, it was such a big deal to be seen as a stallion when it really wasn't the case. He was, some of them become so obsessed, like, how do I compare to your last person? Or how do I rank as far as size? And it's like, really, dude, you really want to be upset? But because we care about them, we don't never really reveal the truth about where they stand and how we feel in that area. We find a way to gently tell them that, what, no, like, let's try it like this. And that's what I did. But he just wasn't it just wasn't adding up. And so what I found out, I'm just gonna go to the end, then we can come back to the beginning, because it's kind of funny. Because I came home, like I shared the last time, came home. He was in my place, in my apartment, with another woman. Now they're sitting on my couch, like I said to you guys in that video. They eating the kids' snacks, the kids' juice boxes, and just living their best pathetic life, right? And so I'm like, get out, it's over. And party is over. And I ended everything right there in that moment. And so, he had some things in my place. I also, like, I also had like toothbrush and that type of thing at his house. So I said, you know what, leave, and I'm gonna come back in X amount of time, and I want you gone by then. So don't you know, this raggedy fool left my apartment like upside down, a hot mess. And I mean, like, I mean, that's kind of nasty. I don't know if I can say this, but anyway, it was really nasty what he did. But what I didn't know is that he left some medication in the fridge. So, I went to go fix whatever I was doing, and I saw, wow, a prescription bottle. And guess what was inside there? Some blue pills. So this dude was on blue pills, cheating, lots of different women. What I came to find out later, for him, it was just anything in a skirt, anything on two legs. They would, they go that way. There is no limit. They don't care. We know that, with them, they like a reckless lifestyle. So unprotected sex with as many different people. They live dangerously. They are, they're nasty. They're also, like, on the wrong side of the law a lot of the times. And I want to say they're on the wrong side of the law all the time. It's just unfortunate that this type of abuse, the emotional, the psychological abuse, is not actually rendered as a crime. But I think it's really something that needs to be, changed, that this type of abuse is recognized for what it is, because it really does tear people's lives apart. It alters the course of many, many lives. And so I found out then that he was actually, it started making sense that this man couldn't get it up. I mean, his biscuit was limp. I mean, like, it was a sorry story. But the whole time when he's going through this, and I was not aware, it was always, something about me. Well, maybe you should lose 10 pounds, and I might find you attractive enough to sleep with you. First of all, have you seen yourself? But that's how they are. They'll try to make you feel bad about yourself. And so I really want to encourage you that be solid with yourself. We're none of us are perfect, but accept who you are. Because if my self-confidence was a little bit off, and he told me to lose 10 pounds, I'd have probably been, in my feelings, and, oh, maybe this is why this isn't adding up, or all of those things. I'd have tried to rationalize what his problem was. But, like, no, they are so nasty. Oh, here. Uh, Holly says, my ex narc took 2 Viagra's and a penis injection, and it didn't even help them. And that's the truth, because this man used to say all the time, like, he would tell me, like, oh, I've gained weight, I've put on weight prior to meeting you, and so I'm not really myself. And they say that when you get bigger, that thing gets smaller. And he would try to explain himself away, and I'm like, I wasn't complaining. But always trying to, in their mind, there's some type of Olympics that's going on, that they are trying to be perfection. They know that they're lacking in one area or the other. He probably was already dealing with his limp biscuit situation, and so was trying to just explain it away, or just make me feel some type of way. And then would say, like, oh, I'm going to get, like, I'm going to get a pump, and I'm going to get an extension or an enlargement surgery. And I was like, okay, we'll see. Roxy says the last one I knew had a huge with anyone. So disgust. All of it is unprotected. They are so gross. They just, I mean, like, here's the thing. And a big part of, oh, you called him a chode again. Right. But a big part of me believes that, when it comes to these people, the male and female narcissist, and let's also not forget that the female narcissist, her libido also gets affected, and that, our bodies go through different changes. So you may not always, be wanting to perform or ready to perform or in the mood or anything like that. But it was just kind of crazy because even the female narcissist is affected by this. And again, instead of just being open and honest and telling their partner, like what normal people will do, like, let's sit down and talk. This is what the doctor said. Do you want to come with me? And let's see where we can take our relationship and how we can maintain a level of intimacy. The narcissist does the total opposite. They are sneaky about how, about their appointments and not sharing that, or, not sharing the appointment information with you. Like this one was hiding his pills in the fridge. And that little part in the fridge where it opens up and you sometimes put butter in there, that's where it was, but behind everything. So you couldn't see it. So, if I wasn't going around looking for stuff, I wouldn't, I would never have come across it. The funny thing is, because he had trashed my home, he had left everything in a hot mess. I said, "Oh, okay." So I took those pills and I put them down the sink, and I turned on the garbage disposal to make sure that they were destroyed. And sure enough, Limp Bizkit needed his stuff because wherever he was, they wanted the stuff. And I was like, listen, it's over. And so what he did was go around smearing me, telling anybody who cared that I took away his pain medication for his back because he was in some alleged accident. All lies. Those were blue pills that clearly said Viagra. And I was just like, whatever. And at that point, I really began to say, okay, this is his fault. This is his problem, and don't accept, that projected back onto them. Let them know that no, you're the one with the issue here, not me, because they're going to do any and everything to make you feel less than, simply because that's how they're feeling. Like, I believe the whole time when he would refuse to take care of himself and groom himself, he probably felt that dirty on the inside. And so it's okay to be that dirty on the outside. How they say, like, when people, like, the hoarders on TLC, and people just have stuff everywhere and you can't get to anything and you wonder, how do they live? I kind of think that, in the mind of the narcissist, it's pretty much the same. They just hoard people, hoard everything. And with all that clutter that's in their lives, there's no moment for clarity. A lot of the times we're here wondering, why can't this person, just take a moment to think things through? Why can't they, just step aside and let God, have a moment with them and heal them and touch them, and you're praying and all of those things. There's too much clutter on the inside, and they never sit still. They want to be busy. They want to be surrounded by people because they need all of those things to validate themselves. They need all those people to regulate their emotions. So they're always surrounded, and there's never just a moment where there's like, their house is clean, their insides are clean, that they can just really have the ability to think through. It's hard. It's hard to think around a lot of clutter. It's hard to think around a lot of mess. You see, like, even with the hoarders, they keep all those things, but when they start going through the process of removing things, and then it's like peeling an onion. With each layer that is taken off, there's a level of pain. There's something that is being shed off of them that has held them from moving forward. But once that starts to happen, they start to heal and are able to move forward. This is what the narcissist can't do. I was working on a video about, should we feel pity for the narcissist? And, I kind of put it aside because I thought maybe I was being a bit of a, I was being unkind, or, I just wasn't being right in the video, because I was asking questions like, well, do you feel sorry for the devil? I don't think any one of us here feels sorry for the devil. So why do you feel sorry for that raggedy fool? Why should we feel sorry for somebody who has the ability to say, you know what, I want to change. I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to, and if I am cheating, which is not right anyway, I'm going to make sure that I protect myself so that I don't bring back anything to you. Because a narcissist is the type of person to go and actually know that they have full blown AIDS and go sleeping around and spread that disease, knowing that it is going to drastically change your life. Now, I said AIDS, but it could be anything. It could be chlamydia. It could be trick. It could be whatever. They don't care. And it's almost like, they want to, in their mind, they're spreading the joy, but they actually enjoy what they're doing. They enjoy inflicting this pain on you. They enjoy knowing that I'm altering the course of your life. And this is that God complex that they have. That's why some of them end up murdering people. They end up, doing the most violent things to people, because that's, they feel like they're entitled to, they feel empowered by these things. Inside of them is just a demon that needs to be cast out. I'm going to take a look and see what's going on in these comments, because the comments stay popping. I enjoy going through them. All right, all right. Nene says, mine wouldn't take a shower on the days he didn't have to work and was home because he knew I don't do dirty D. And that's the thing, and instead of just being an adult and saying, I don't want to do it, not right now, they go about these things in the most roundabout ways. I almost said that clown's name, but he would really, go on and on. And then have any of you ever encountered where they actually want to get graphic and give graphic details about their prior partners? Or, she used to, polish my doorknob like this and like that. Like, nobody cares about that. Like, that's, like little kids saying, well, my daddy's stronger than your daddy, and my mommy's this and that. That's the type of things that the narcissist engages in things that have no value and no meaning. They don't add any value to anybody's life, but they just enjoy, just these put downs. So personal growth now. Thank you for joining us tonight. Says, this is a bit graphic, but my slim covert narc used to always ask why I didn't perform or moan like other guys. It was like it was a competition, because it is a competition. Everything when it comes to the narcissist it's a game. It's about a competition, and they play to win. And they play dirty, so they don't care. They don't care who they hurt in the process, or how low they have to go. It's crazy, because sometimes we always say like, hey, you always get baffled by the things that they do, and then just like that, they surprise you by going down another notch. And it's like, dude, how low can you go? But you see, when you are somebody who has given yourself over to be used in perverted ways, and to perform these acts, these demonic acts, there is no low. They continue to go down in an abyss, and they're perfectly fine, and they're perfectly comfortable doing just that. So it's crazy that they do all of these things. See, there's a common thread here, because I hated how many days he could go without showering. Like, seriously. And I was feeling so embarrassed to mention that this clown did not shower, and I don't know how many days it was. And you just be like, listen, we can't even sleep in the same bed because you stink. And if you're not going to shower, at least a bird bath or change stuff. No, not them. Just as nasty and as dirty as they can be. Oh, these comments are making me laugh. Oh, see, mine blamed it on diabetes. I bet you that was a lie. And I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I don't know how diabetes affects, your sexual urges or desires. But I bet you there was a lie wrapped up somewhere there, because they don't know where to stop. The minute that mouth starts, you just got to know that, This is interesting. She said, personal growth now says that she used to compete with her brother too. She had to be further ahead than him. That is why she's working on having a baby right now because the brother's about to have a child. Truly interesting. Exactly. Again, back to the, back to the point where everything is about a competition. Oh, so you're doing this, I'm going to do this. Quick story, the same psychopath that I'm talking about bought a car that he did not want, bought a car that he could not afford, not even to put gas in that car. He couldn't afford. Mind you, it was a piece of junk anyway. But he bought it. Why did he buy it? Because and I mean, like, when you go and you borrow money from everybody and you go to the different pawn shops to get rid of stuff. That's how he got the money in the end to sell this, or to buy this car. But bought this car only because his other friend wanted the car and he didn't want him to have the car. He knew that his friend was going to restore the car, make it brilliant, and all of those things. But that greed, that envy, that competition, what personal growth is saying, like always in competition. When somebody does this, they have to do this. It's just a back and forth with them. And the competition is really within themselves. They try to make us feel like it's about us, but it's those demons that are all up in them that are they're competing with. Rosie Bless says, wow, my ex narc said he had to think about someone else to have sex with me. That hurt like hell. That's when I was being replaced. I'm really sorry because that is so evil and that is so, it's cruel. And it's just typical, it's a typical thing for them to say. I know that they say so many things that are hurtful, so many things that, are there to mess with our confidence because truly that is just projecting how he feels. He couldn't have sex because probably his biscuit was limp too and couldn't get it up. And, that's all I can say about that because they are liars. They're liars. And so, even if it comes to like the new supply, they're going to be doing the most. And that's when they need the Viagra and all of those other things to help them function with the new supply and keep up with all the other people that they're with. Because let's make no mistake, these guys, pathological, compulsive, obsessive, cheaters, dirty. They, anything goes. And I was saying earlier, then I lost my train of thought that these people definitely, I can't remember who said it, that they are trisexual. They will try anything. So, you can be surprised because there's one that I do know, and I'm kind of like on the fence, like, which way does he really go? But I truly believe he goes any way. And it just stands to say, it's just to say that whatever gets them the supply that they want, it doesn't matter. One day they can be, like, these are the people who, like, they'll do anything, okay? And, that's when they want to also get you to violate any boundaries that you have or things that you're not comfortable with. There are things that I said that these were no's for me. And he wanted to push in those areas. And so, that's when I began to like start questioning, like, okay, I've told this person that I'm not interested in this and this makes me uncomfortable, but you keep pressing me to go that direction. And, crazy and I'm upset, I'm embarrassed even now, like I still stayed, even when you see somebody is telling you like, no, I'm gonna push through your boundaries because this is what I want, and I couldn't care less about what makes you uncomfortable or what it reminds you of. But yeah, it's crazy because that's just how they do, or that's how they are. Let's see, I'm trying to find some more comments or questions or anything going on here. Yep. Mine always wanted me to work. Mine always wanted me to extra work to get it up. Absolutely, absolutely. I remember talking to somebody, and she was like, "Listen, I think it was actually." Yeah, okay, I remember who it was. But she said that he had her like, polishing doorknobs, and while he's like scrolling through his phone, and she was like, trying to stop, and I'm tired because obviously he was not interested, and so he's just going through the phone and just being disrespectful at the end of the day. And she's going hard at work, but he would not let her stop, or it became a fight afterwards. And it's all to degrade you, all to devalue you, thinking that that they have that upper hand, that power and control, that they're at the top of the totem pole. But at the totem pole of what? Toads? They don't even care. Nothing that they say or do makes sense. Introvert soul says, I used to cry when we were sexual and thought it was because he was my soulmate. Oh dear. Nope, it was because my spirit knew what my mind could not accept. I was in the midst of a man who was abusing me. And this is something that is such a great point, and I thank you so much for saying it, because a lot of the times, we may not recognize this, the signs, or that something is wrong here. It happened to me. I didn't see, I didn't recognize the signs, but something on the inside of me just didn't feel right. And yet I'm like, trying to explain everything away, because this truly did feel like my soulmate. I mean, like, I thought I met God's creation, God's person for me. And I was fully convinced. But that feeling on the inside just was so unsettled. But again, just explained everything away. And this is one reason why it's so important that you, and I say this a lot, I think, that you actually truly do get comfortable with just trusting yourself. That's where your intuition doesn't require any evidence, needs to come in, because we will spend forever trying to explain away these feelings that we have, or just trying to make it what it's not, when really this person that we're with is what is, they're poisonous to our souls. They are poisonous to everything about us. Okay, so it looks like the T on MPD in relationships is here. Welcome, Talsha, and thank you and congratulations on your success and the growth of your channel. I'm so proud of you, and I know only good things are going to come out from you. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what's next with you. Very proud of you. Um, Yeah, these malignant narcs know they have STDs and still, yep, they're narking raw. And for them, it's almost like, they want to, make you feel like this is, oh, this is something special, or it's a level of, level of commitment that they're extending to you, because that's, what do you do? What do you do when they won't leave you alone? My daughter wants me to take self pictures of her right now. Anyhow, back to the program. Yeah, they want you to feel like, oh, this is a forever commitment, and it's only you in my life, and I would never do this with anybody else. And you let your guard down because you believe this person. Don't let your guard down. Or you can let your guard down a little bit, but still wrap it up. You got to wear that raincoat, and provide your own raincoats, people. Don't allow them to use theirs, because they poke holes in theirs. They do all types of things to manipulate the situation, so that they, at the end of the day, still feel like, yeah, I did, I got one over you. But that's just how nasty they are. They don't care. They don't care about your boundaries. They don't care about the things that you're doing. They simply do not care. They don't respect you, and they don't, because they don't respect themselves. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty vessel. And on the inside, they're empty. But you know what? I really wanted to say that they're not empty. I'm fully convinced it's heaps of sewer water in there. That's all it is. And so they pour this sewer mess onto us, and that's why we end up feeling dirty ourselves. That's why we end up feeling like we've been compromised. Because if they were empty, truly just empty, we would feel empty afterwards. But we're feeling dirty. We're feeling like, embarrassed, ashamed. You don't really get ashamed of nothing or something that isn't there, unless it's something that has been poured onto you that leaves you, in filth and feeling vile. And that's why I personally will say that they are filled up with sewer water. That's it. The whole community, the whole neighborhood sewer water is in that one person. They are, they're just nasty. Hi, Andrea. So she says, no boundaries, especially when you've discarded them, caused a narc injury. They will try to pay you back. Absolutely. And, they'll go to great lengths to pay you back, and just to make you feel like, that you are insignificant, and just really to reclaim whatever emotions that they have. But they really do have serious issues in that area. Um, Let's see, this comment says, I was with my narc about 3 weeks ago. He wanted to be frisky and be outside. Well, after giving him a BJ for about 10 minutes, it wouldn't stand at attention. He blamed me. He's 48 while I'm in my 30s. Yeah, probably because he didn't take his blue pills or they didn't kick in. It's always about them. It's not about you. Sometimes, it might not even just be their mind. A lot of them don't take care of themselves, like their bodies, don't go to doctors, don't go for checkups, or just have good, first, no good hygiene, no good personal health and care. And so it's not just that. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why men experience ED, or why women, their or our libidos are affected. It's not always just that, it's I guess it's their karma in one way or the other, but there are many different factors that need to be considered at this point. But for these people, can you imagine these sexual narcissists, the ones who have the need to have multiple people, those who have the need to use their assets, so to speak, to actually get them the narcissistic supply that they seek? For a lot of them, it's a big blow on their little poor egos. It hurts these little ting tings, because that's the thing that they live off. That's the tool that they know how to use. Some of them offer nothing but the D. Some people offer nothing more than the cat. That's it. And then it'd be whack at the same time. And so it's like, really, what was there? Nothing. But you can't tell them that. They will just believe that they're the greatest, Still Healing says, yet I felt dirty and ashamed afterwards. It didn't even try to set the mood, just plugged it in. Mind you, I'd been celibate for 17 and a half years at the time. I'm so sorry that that was your experience, but and it's sad to say, but it's really typical, because there is no intimacy with these people. They may fake it, but you can only fake these things but so far. You can't fake a true and a genuine emotion. And so that's why sometimes it's almost robotic with them, that it's just that this is what I do, and it's never really, I mean, for some of them, those real seductive ones, they will make love to you because that's their tool. But some of them are just robots, and that's all they know how to do, is get to the finish line and think that, yeah, I did something, so I deserve a pat on the back. But at the end of the day, there is no, because they are so, well, they are not, so they lack any empathy. They can't create intimacy. There's never really an environment where a narcissist can create intimacy. They can only fake it. And again, that is always going to be exposed over time. Right. That's right, Warrior Wanda. They will do it with anyone and believe in their delusion. Absolutely, because in their mind, they have to tell themselves that I'm greatest. That's the only way that they can function properly. But they're going to ask they're going to ask, how was my performance? How did you feel? And sometimes, okay, for the most part, we want to tell the truth. We do tell the truth. And then there's those other times when we end up just saying, you know what, it was good. It was whatever, because we want to keep the peace. And we know that, we care about them. And so we don't want to crush their little egos. But, I think, in hindsight, the times that I did that, I wish I never would have. I wish that I just told the truth and said, you know what, this is what it was. There's no time for comparing you or them to anybody else. But again, I wanted to talk about what my experience was when I found out that this guy really was suffering with ED and had been acting like the whole time that it was my fault. And here I am wondering, well, what is it about me, And just thinking of the different things that I could have done or should have done to change the situation. There was nothing I could change. And for many of you who are sharing your stories in the comments, there's nothing that you could have done to change that situation. They are who they are. They just, at Limp Biscuit, they just couldn't get no juices flowing. I don't know what to tell you, but that's all it is, and it's crazy that that situation is turned around to be blamed on you. And this is how they are with a lot of different sicknesses. Whenever these sicknesses fall upon them, it's always somebody else's fault. They even go as far as to say things like, oh, I know somebody out there is doing voodoo on me. I know somebody out there is doing black magic, witchcraft, or whatever on me. When in actuality, like, dude, the doctor told you you have cholesterol problems and you keep eating the same way. If you would just change your diet and maybe work out a little bit, you could reverse some things or you could change some things. But no, it's always about somebody else and how they are the professional victims. That's all they know how to be, is to blame it for everybody else. So even when you find them rejecting you in the bedroom, it's not your fault. Please don't ever for one moment think it's your fault, because I've spoken to quite a few people offline, and that's why I also wanted to have this conversation, just so we can talk about it and put it out there that no, the, a lot of the times they are suffering with these things and they just want you to believe that you're the problem, that it's your fault, and again, do what narcs do. um okay, he says, for so long, I thought something was wrong with me. I was made to feel as if I was less than in that department. And again, yeah, that's how they want us to feel. That's how they want us to feel. But, at the same time, you wonder, like, as much as they cheat and as many times as they, go out and they try to do it with other people, they fail in those areas too. They fail, they embarrass themselves instead of, just sitting down and behaving themselves in one spot, but they're out there with their community items and just embarrassing us, because people are like, but that's your man. No, just being an embarrassment. But then want to reverse the role and blame us and, make us feel less than. You can't spread yourself that thin. You can't spread yourself that thin and think that, it's always going to be okay. There's some really interesting articles about this on Psychology Today, if you ever get a chance to go and read. And there was like different arguments that you came about, because we know that with the narcs, they love their solo time. They love to masturbate. And I know this same one that I'm talking about would say, "Well, I'm not going to marry anybody until I find somebody who can do it as well as I can do it to myself." And I'm like, "You are so sick," But then once I called him out on like that just being perverted and dumb, he kind of like backed off a little bit. But again, he realized that he said those things to me too early, and that I wasn't really all the way indoctrinated just yet. And I think, that in itself, thinking about it now, is saying something like that was now trying to, I'm supposed to now, it was supposed to be my cue to amp up my efforts to outperform him. Do you see how that works? Like, I'm not going to marry anybody until I find somebody who can do me better than me. Oh, okay. So now I'm supposed to want to do you better than you can do you. No, crazy. You see, they always find a way to mess with our minds. And that's all it is. So, when we think about the fact that they love to masturbate, they engage in dirty sex with anybody, male, female, they just cross the lines over and over again because it's for supply. And they've been doing it for so long. So, some of those articles on Psychology Today were saying that, it's no wonder that some of them end up in these situations. And it wasn't just talking about narcissists in this instant, it was just talking about pathological cheaters, that, they always end up in these fixes where it doesn't work. And so the whole debate was that can people really take yourself into overdrive or overuse your stuff, that it starts to break down. But I guess with age and with time, I mean, the debates and the back and forth were really great. So if you ever get some time, you should go definitely and read it. Or in fact, I'll link it into the video so you can go and see it. Hi, Tanya. She says, my ex always wanted to masturbate. It was disgusting to watch. Just get off screaming and all with pleasure. Yeah, they are. I mean, like, listen, anything goes for them. Anything goes for them. And, yeah, they really do. And and they do this a lot of the times to devalue you. They do it to devalue you right there and just act like, what, you can't do this better than me. And so I'm just going to show you how it's done. I'm going to show you how I can please myself, and just be, extra, or just tell you that, what, just lie to you. Like, they're so nasty. Lisa says, I just found out from my teen grandson, alcohol lowers testosterone. Mystery of life explained. I had no idea. I know now. Also, alcohol increases estrogen in men. That's really interesting. But you see, all of this information that's coming up before us, and we're starting to learn. A lot of us have been carrying guilt and feeling terrible about the things that we've been exposed to. Meanwhile, it's just their raggedy behinds and how karma follows them. A lot of the times it's like, oh, when are the narc gonna get their karma? I mean, they walk it every day, every day. Oh gosh, she said to me one day, if I showed you the porn I watched, it would scare you. Difficult to explain why I didn't run as in the first year. Yep, that's right. And they have these addictive personalities, and so they get addicted to porn, and even like as Lisa mentioned, the alcohol. So all of these things they take effect, and they take an effect on and a toll on the body that over time it just kind of gets tired and wears out, because like, how long do you think you're going to get away with this or keep doing this? Right. Hi, not a member of the harem. She says, OMG, this is crazy. The ex narcissist was also the same, plus addicted to porn. I think many of them are addicted to porn. And this is not to say that it's just narcissists that are addicted to porn. A lot of people are. This is an interesting one. I never blamed myself. He got boring, robotic. I couldn't suggest anything new. He would bring up my ex saying that's what we used to do. Jealousy. Absolutely jealous. And if you ever did suggest something new, they fall back and like, so who have you been with? And want to start blaming you for cheating because you're opening your mouth to ask for something different. But, yeah, it's that jealousy, and also knowing that they can't perform like that. Hi, NarcCon. I know it has got to be late where you are. She says, given they think they're the best at everything, probably best to leave them to just always have sex with themselves. Since they know how to please themselves so well, they can do it so much better than we ever could help or be part of it. So it would make sense that we just do leave them themselves. It would be real cool if it was just like a stamp that would be attached to them, so we know who they are. Yep, absolutely. Monica saying it messes up their playbook. Right. Aging messes up their playbook. Like, listen, when the narcissist starts to age, it's amazing how it really affects them. And so, for all of us who have gotten away from them, and especially if it's still fresh for you and you're still hurting, and you're watching them and you're seeing them with a new supply, and they're just kikiing and hee-hawing and having the best time ever. It's a number one, it's a show. The new supply is nothing more than the person that he needed at the moment, who was going to tolerate him or who doesn't know him yet. He's not bored yet, so they're living their best fake life. But we do so much better when we get away from them, because we don't have to go old or grow old with them, because that aging process in them is so difficult. Physical appearance, bodies change, things don't sit up where they used to, things hang, things sag, and they don't take too kindly to that. And so instead of them focusing on their own self and how they can improve their own health and overall appearance, they'll look at you and they'll pick you apart. You may have the most, you could be perfect in every sense of the word as far as your physical appearance is. They will still find something wrong with you. And, the better shape that you are in compared to them, the worse they're going to treat you. And so if it's somebody who's like maybe just on their level, they'll just make fun of it. But, any abuse or any of their vile words at the same time is always going to be wrong, and it's hurtful and it's abusive at the end of the day. But aging with them is hard. Once the sickness starts to set in, and you're the one who has to take care of them and deal with their temper, because now they're angry, they know that they're about to be exposed, or a level of weakness and vulnerability is going to be exposed. It drives them insane. It's crazy because, like I said before, I've worked with them, and I do still work with a lot of different aging people. And so when I get to meet those that I'm like, this one here is suspect, it's a narc, or, at least toxic on some level, is very interesting to see how they are so vile, not just to those that are trying to care for them, but to their family, the ones, who are desperately trying to be there and be at their beck and call and just help them through the process. It's actually it's pathetic. Okay, it's very heartbreaking to see this. And so, we know they will never change. That's exactly how they are always going to be. Right. She says that he always wanted to devalue me, but I didn't take it personal. I wanted to vomit. I wish you would have vomited like, "Bleh, this is what I feel about you." But because I'm gonna play nice. It always made me feel like there was something wrong with me, like I couldn't turn him on only to make him angry. He reacted like that often. And this is so, it's so true, and it's so real that, they want you to feel like it's your issue, that their problem, that they being unable to function and work is your problem, but it's really not. Hi, Danny. I see your comment here saying that, where you go? The female narcs are creeps also. I do have some stories. My narc wife and her hygiene man, I stopped sleeping with her years ago because I don't trust her. And absolutely, and I agree with you too. Like, this is not just about the men. I'm talking about the men, just as a woman from my standpoint. But we know that these heifers are just as vile, nasty, and trifling as the raggedy, dusty behind narcissists, all of them. And their hygiene is all off. And so it's crazy. Hello, Empath Uprising. Thanks for being here. Um, Here's one. Mona Lisa says, my ex-husband got his karma and now he needs a little blue pill with the woman he cheated on me with. Right. Like I was saying, he needed the blue pill to go everywhere to just get it up. Um, right. Richard is talking about that they do age fast. They age fast. My ex-narc girlfriend is 50 and looks older than her mother, who's 70 something. Like, and this is true for many of them. They just age so fast, and I really feel like it's got to do with the way, with that dirty sewer water that's on the inside of them. What's on the inside of you is always going to come out, whether it's how you speak, what you're saying, what you ingest is what is always going to come out. And so because they age that way, has anybody, like, really, let me know in the chat, like, have you ever just looked back at your ex narc and been like, ooh, like, what happened? One point you were so fine and all of this, and now I'm looking like too embarrassed to admit that, what, I actually had a relationship with this person. We actually, because they look a hot mess. And when I say a hot mess, not like they just discombobulated, but they just aged in a, like, overnight. And it's just like, okay, but they do age, and I'm convinced it's because of all the vile stuff that's on the inside of them. Everything, all that sewer water that has been sitting stagnant for all this time is beginning to ferment and all other nasty things, and it starts to come on the outside. It starts to show up through their attitude, through their temperament, through their treatment of other people, and through just the things that they say, just vile to the core. And yeah, that's part of that karma. Karma, it shows up in many, many different ways. It shows up in many different ways. My ex-narc told me that we're not going to be doing that anymore since you always get hurt when we do. It was my first relationship, so I only had his beach whale impersonation for reference. Wow. And when they're the only reference points, but yeah, I'm really sorry that, the experiences have been so negative. But at the end of the day, we know that these people are really demonic entities. They are nasty. And we ourselves, we got entangled in that mess. And so, one thing that I do want to stress tonight is that even as, we try to recover ourselves emotionally, let's claim back our minds, let's claim back our bodies and our spirits, because we can't ingest all of that toxicity that they pour on us and not be affected on some level. And I'm not just talking about you emotionally, but how did it play in your bodies? How were you doing as far as your health is concerned? I've said so many times that I used to get a lot of migraines around the narcissist, and not anymore. But how is everybody doing as far as your bodies are concerned? Did you make sure that you went to go to the doctor to get tested and to know that everything with you is safe and kosher? Not everything is a death sentence anymore. There's medication that you can take, and will help you, continue to be healthy and live a good and a full life. So don't neglect your bodies. And also, not just like, like your sexual health, but like all of you, mental. Have you considered, or are you going to therapy? Are you tapping into all the different resources that are available for you? Again, it's important that we recover the whole person, because you're not just it's not just one part of your life that they affect the whole person: mind, body, soul, spirit. And so we have to reclaim all of that. Let's see. Queenie says, I remember years back when my ex-narc stopped bringing me around his friends. When they started asking about me, I should have known that something wasn't right. The idea of another man drove him nuts. Right? Jealous. They always want to hide you, or not always want to hide you, but keep you from other people seeing you, because they feel like, because they do so many vile things. They probably, been hitting on their own friends, girlfriends, or whatever. They are known to sleep with everybody and anything. So they sleep with mothers, fathers, cousins, sisters, aunts, friends. Mine try to hit up my friends, but we're solid. And they were like, listen, that's what's going on. They already handled him, but there is no limit. It's always about punishment, and how close to your inner circle can I get, so that I can really devalue you, so that I can really turn the knife in your back. And the whole time, they're just laughing at you, that smirk of theirs, all sadistic with their nasty selves. um My skin began to break out. Woke up in night terrors, soaked in sweat, sleeping next to him. Left last March. Glad I escaped. Well, I am thrilled that you escaped, and I'm very proud of you. Last March. Keep going. It keeps getting better. But we all experience something. There's always some level of trauma, not just within our emotions. And I keep saying this because I just want to emphasize that we have to take care of the whole person, the whole being, and also close any loopholes that we may have that allowed them to come into our lives, so that we don't get infiltrated with sewer water ever again. So Sunny Cloud says, I also call them aliens, because we all wake from that in pain from getting probed. Absolutely. They are minions, little demons running around just looking for human hosts, and narcissists are just happy to open up themselves to this. The sociopath got completely jealous if I talked to other guys. He told me he didn't like that feeling like that. He got a feeling he didn't like it. Hi, Blue Flame Integration, and thank you for your comments. Absolutely. They truly, they're just jealous. But I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that they know themselves, they are dirty, and they know that they're up to something. And so it's always that, how they always want to look over their shoulder, or they're paranoid. And that's what it is they're paranoid, because they know that they've been up to something, and that they just don't want to experience that themselves. Or they'll always accuse you. This joker would one time he called me in the middle of the night, and I was home alone. I was in my own place, and he was like, oh, on video call, right? And he's like, oh, let me see your paranoids, who's in the house with you? And I'm like, what? Asking, oh, I want you to go and show me your shower. Move the shower curtain. I want to see who's in your closet and under your bed. I hung up on this clown. I didn't know what I was dealing with at the time, but I really hung up on him. And I was like, really, at 3 a.m, who does that? And probably because that's what he was doing at the time. And he was either on his way coming to, or planning on, and so that's just how they do. They are always paranoid, because they do the most. And then, if your eyes settle on a certain person for too long, then it's like, oh, so you want them? No, I'm just in the room, and you're just in a room looking around, and there's other people and you're having conversation. They find ways to blame you for everything, but that's all because they themselves are guilty of what they're doing. And so it's like they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's kind of how they live their lives. They're waiting to be called out because they've been through this before. This is nothing new. This is nothing new to them. This is nothing new to them at all. Why you can't with me tonight, Adrina? Why? We were just talking the truth. This is the truth, and I'm sure this is my truth also, and it's everybody else's truth that has been sharing with us in the comments. Like, they like these raggedy, dusty behinds. Like, listen, that's really who they are. They're nasty. I don't know what else to tell you. They're nasty. And, sex is always going to be a weapon that the narcissist uses. There's a saying that the way to a woman's heart is through her womb. And I kind of believe that, and that's why some men are in a rush to have sex with you. And, and some women just want to trap men with sex immediately, the female narcissist. But, think about it. And a lot of the times, when you're intimate with them, they want to talk, and almost like they're programming you to believe what they're saying. But it's just crazy because they really feel like, or they really do try to program you with a word thought. Like, and for us it might just be like, okay, this kind of like, we just doing it and we're having conversation. Whose is this? Who am I? All of those things. But with the way they do it, there's a sinister meaning behind it. And yeah, that's part of the indoctrination. LA Tate says, why did my ex-narc wife often tell me she would wake up shaking in the middle of the night, but it only happened when she would sleep next to me? Probably those demons were keeping her up, worrying her about what's going on with her own guilt, her own things that she's been dealing with, trying to make sense of everything. But they really, they really do, they play a number on us and on the self-esteem of many people. Royalty says, because narcs are demons, why aren't they punished with ED for the rest of their lives to prevent mental torture in unsuspecting victims? Here's the thing. If ED was their punishment, they'll find another way to exert that mental torment onto other people, or on their targets. They are always going to find a way, because it's only a certain type of narcissist that will do this. You have your cerebral narcs who are not even interested in this. They're the ones who, they'll get their supply a different way. Oh, Wanda dropped a good one, that love bomb. Be very careful about that love bombing season, when they want to keep telling you about what they're doing or who they are and just make you feel good. Because listen, nothing stops these people. They'll go to all extents and make you do things that you're not comfortable with, that you would not normally do. That's just who they are. But going back to what I was saying, is that it's so important that you recover your whole self, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because those are the parts that make up who you are. The narcissist comes into your life to rob all of that from you. And so it's important that you continue to work to develop yourself. For those that are still, new to the experience, or even if you are a lot further along, how are you doing as far as chasing after your own dreams and your own goals and the things that make you happy? Have you put yourself center of your own life? Are you now first in your own life? Because we give up our own dreams and we put our own desires to the side, because we can't have any of those things when we have a narcissist. Everything has to be about them. They have to be front and center. And so, are you bringing you back into the picture? Are you chasing your passion? Are you focused on those things? Because I think when we start to look at ourselves, or start bringing things that we wanted to do before the narcissist back into the picture, it helps us along, or helps us move along in the healing process pretty well too. It's all about now feeding yourself so that you can move forward, and so that you can just fall in love with you again. Richard says they won't stop till they're in the wooden box. Right. They won't stop until they're in the wooden box, and their journey to the wooden box is not a pleasant one. I'll tell you that. Um, and so, it's just important that we continue to focus on ourselves. So we talked about, like, your mental health, we talked about your physical health, your emotional wealth. Like, keep on working on yourself so that you can heal. Like, again, we know that we're at war with these people. We may have been asleep at one point, but now we're fully awake. Now we fully know. So, I think it's so important that all of you here who are in the comments, those of you who are just watching, share your story. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. You don't go through these things just to go through these things. God is an economist, and he wastes no experience. Nothing is ever wasted. It doesn't matter how painful these things or these situations that we face may have been. They're always going to be able to help somebody else overcome. They're always going to help somebody else heal. It was funny because I thought, like, oh, you're really tripping if you want to go and talk about the pills that were in your fridge and how he had ED. But come to find out that there's so many other people who experience these things, and so now we've talked about it, and now we're all aware that this is something that they actually do experience, and we know that we're not alone, because a lot of the time some of the things that we feel, they become so embarrassing to talk about. Like, really, like, I'm here, like, you really want to tell these people that this joker refused to shower and was walking around in the same boxes forever? And I'm like, it's embarrassing. Like, you were with this person, but I'm not the only one. Apparently, according to these comments, I'm not the only one. But, the more that we use our voices, and even those situations that are just so embarrassing to us, um, we help other people heal. So I'm glad I caught this comment, because, we have to celebrate a 1 year anniversary. Congratulations, Andrea. So proud of you. And you're doing awesome. Congratulations for all the good work. You should be proud of all the work that you're doing, and for resisting the urge to pick up the phone, to unblock, to reach out, to follow on social media. Congratulations. It's not an easy thing, but each day it gets better. Each day it gets easier and easier, until one day you're gonna be like, oh, really? When they're trying to hover you, like, they just become nasty, disgusting, or we see them for who they are. These suckers are making fake accounts. Yep. They do the most. They do the absolute most. I see. Hi, Shayna. Hi, Shar. Thank you guys for joining. Hi, Low Key. Vanilla Pudding. Let me see. Hello and welcome. Um, the comment went, here we go. It says, the one I was dating didn't tell me anything. He tried to make me feel like his ex-girlfriend let me know it was absolutely him. It's always them. When how they sometimes tell us it's not you, it's me. It's really them. It's not us. It's really him. It's his problem, his issue. Yeah, my ex and I brought up the last time we went out camping before he dumped me for some other girl hours later. See, just bottom of the barrel type of things. Okay, you want to know what ED means? Erectile dysfunction, impotence, when their biscuit is limp and it can't get up and they need help. Like Viagra is one of the medicines that they take to help them. They're not able to function sexually, and it happens to a lot of, and not just narcissists, but and for the females, women, it's she said PP dysfunction. Really? She said PP dysfunction. That's what it is. Their PP stops. Their little ting ting stops working. How about that? Yeah. So that's really, I can't. She said, can't get hard, no WAP either. I get. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me. She said a wet noodle. Where did it go? Royalty said a wet noodle. Basically, that's pretty much what it is. So I'm sure we all get we get the picture. But for real, like all jokes aside, it does affect our lives. Hold up. This one says, Shar says, the monster I was with would put over the counter sex pills and put them in Pepsi bottles, dated in his closet, 6 bottles. I need it to get. Are you serious? See, there is no chill. They do the most, and it's all, why we hiding it, why we doing these things in the dark and not being open and honest with your partner. Guys, when we're giving our bodies to somebody, we have to be, we have to trust them. We have to allow time to expose who they are, and protect yourself. Be very sure that you're comfortable with this person, and remember the signs. Remember what we learned from the other, from the narcissists or the sociopaths, psychopaths, whichever one of these creatures that you are involved with. Take the lessons from that, and don't let go. If something doesn't feel right, then something's not right. If something feels too good to be true, it might just be too good to be true. Know the signs of being love bombed, so that we don't fall for these things again. And sometimes we do. Okay, sometimes we do, sometimes it happens. But be aware that you are not staying there longer than when you actually wake up. When you actually, when you feel like, why am I walking on eggshells here in my own home? Or, none of these things make sense. It's okay to, pull back. And you're not alone, Shar. I'm so ashamed. Like, with the one that I dealt with, there is evidence that we had a sexual relationship. We have children. And I'm like, dang it, I so ashamed, but it is what it is. We live and we learn. And a lot of it is like, we're just moving forward now. But don't forget or don't neglect the experiences that you had. Continue to to look inward, so that you can heal, so that we can move forward. That's what I had to say about impotent narcs and all of that. It is really a thing, and it is used against us. It is a tool that they will do their best not to, you know, to actually project stuff onto you. Hi, Toy. How are you doing? Yep, yes, they want to blow your mind so that you will let them in and be the exception. Absolutely. It's all a mind game. It's all that manipulation. It's that competition that they have going on. It's crazy. It's unbelievable, but it is who they are. And so, don't believe that they can change. I mean, no. Don't waste your time thinking that that person will be the exception to the rule. Never. Don't waste your time, because time is the one asset that we have that we cannot get back. It's not, that moment, that silence, it's gone. I can't reclaim it. I can't say, oh, I wish I would have said this then. It's gone. It's useless. And so, a lot of the times we feel like we've wasted years upon years with these people. Hi, Toy. Thank you so much. I miss you too. I think we need to have like a mini reunion, so we can just catch up and hear how everybody is doing. But time is so precious. Time is so precious. And okay, here's one harsh truth. Like, okay, we know that we're living in the middle of a pandemic right now. We know the United States has over 200,000 people who lost their lives. 200,000 people, 200,000 families affected, souls gone, dreams that just went away. For some people, it happened like in an instant, in a matter of days. And it's gone. But we are fortunate enough to still be here. We're fortunate enough to have survived this insidious abuse. We're fortunate to be aware that this is a spiritual battle and they're after our souls. And so it's important that you guard yourself going forward. It's important that you continue to honor yourself. It's important that you make yourself a priority. A lot of the times they want to make you feel like you're the issue. No, honey. They're the issue. You're the priority. So don't entertain any joker, male or female, who wants to make you feel like, you know what, you should feel privileged that I'm in your presence. No, clown. I'm the privilege. You make yourself the priority. And so I want to end tonight. Last week I ended off in prayer, but today I'm just going to speak into you. And I wish, a part of me wishes that I had something written down, but I'm going to free flow because listen, first of all, you people are amazing. You have all survived something that is so insidious, and the marks that we bear, the marks that we carry, the scars that we have, they're invisible for the most part. Some there are physical scars, some they are physical bruises. I have some physical ones. Um, I'll share one. Well, I can't show you, but like my ex narc really bit me on my right here on my breast, and there's a scar right there. And to this day denies it, but that's what they do. They're just clowns like that. But I'm alive. I'm I'm right here in front of you talking. And you are here with me. You have all survived something that people say doesn't exist, that people say is not important, that people say that we need to eh, be pitiful towards these people. No, we never at one time in our lives feel pity for the devil. And these are his children. Don't you ever allow somebody to tell you and dictate how you should feel. Your feelings are an indicator of what needs your attention. So don't ever fall for that get out your feelings. No, stay in your feelings and pay attention to how you feel, because your feelings are telling you something about yourself. But please know that the mind of Christ is upon you. Your voice, your words are so powerful. You know, when God said, let there be, there was no discussion with anybody else. It just was. Light appeared. And so get a frame. I wish I had a blank picture frame. I was supposed to have one, but I didn't. Get a frame, a picture frame, and leave it blank. But envision what you want to be in there. Envision the life that you want and start pinning words in the frame that you want. You want peace, love, joy, unity, all of those things you deserve. All of those things, faith, hope, love, everything, family. Put it in your frame and start envisioning the life that you want. I guess it's kind of like a vision board, but that's how I do it with the kids. We just get a frame, a picture frame, and we just start envisioning life and begin to declare those things. Your words are powerful. Your words are creative. It doesn't matter about any geographical limitations or implications or whatever's going on in this world. Speak life over yourself and choose your words wisely, because you are fashioned and formed in divinity. It doesn't matter how you came into this world. It doesn't even matter how you're going to go out of this world. What matters is the legacy that you're going to leave. And so the mere fact that this demon thought that he could challenge you to take out your voice before you had a chance, I challenge all of you. I challenge all of you to step up and use your voice, however you're going to use it. Some of you are going to write books. I can't wait. I love reading. Some of you are going to do movies, plays, songs, whatever. Some of you will create apps where we can get off YouTube and go in these apps and in chat rooms that you will create. There is so much greatness and so much power in you. You are victorious. You're the head and not the tail. And so right now we cancel all tailish thoughts. They are beneath us. We will seek those things that are above and not beneath. Again, the mind of Christ is upon you. You are precious in his eyes. The number of hairs on your head are numbered. I mean, like he knows this is 2,563. That's how intimate he is with you. That's how much he loves you. So even this raggedy, dusty behind that try to come and mess with you was fighting a losing battle in the beginning. And that's why they come after you so harshly. That's why they try to really do the most, and they do the most all the time. They listen, I'm anyway, I'm working on the narcissist, bites off more than they can chew. They always bite off more than they can chew. When they came after you, I'm looking at your names: Danny, Warrior, Victoria, Karen. Andrea, Hillary, Shayna, Toy, all of you, when everybody in the chat, those are the names that I could see, Roxy, when they come after you, they bit off more than they can chew, greedy behind, always want more than they can have, always want what they're not qualified for. They are never qualified to be in your presence at all. And so I want you to consider yourself the privilege. And this is not in an arrogant way, it's not in a boastful way, but it is because you matter. It is because your fingerprints are unique. There is nobody like you. And so we need you. There is a gift in all of you that this world needs. The world needs your voice. The world needs your gifts. The world needs your talents. The world needs your light. The world needs your salt. You're the salt of the earth. Salt is an agent of change. Wherever salt is sprinkled, something changes. The flavor changes. So wherever you go, may your mouth be seasoned with salt, that you would change the thoughts of people, that you would change the hearts of people, that they would align with what is good, what is right, and what is pure. Salt is also an agent that preserves things. May you preserve your peace. May you preserve your love. May you preserve your unity. May you preserve your sanity and spread that everywhere that you go. You're the light of the earth, and that's why the enemy could not put you out. Darkness can never, ever drive out light. That's why you're fighting a losing battle, fighting a losing war, because you're the victorious one here. And so, don't ever be, don't ever be upset, or it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to have those moments, but we continue to press towards the prize of a mark of a higher calling, because you have been called for greatness. There is greatness inside of you. And, a lot of the times we experience these things and we ask ourselves, why me? And I want to challenge you. And I know it's not, it may not be well received. I don't know, but why not you? Why not you? You're strong. Why not you? And I asked myself, why not me? But when I used to when I would be crying, still trying to deal with, the sexual assault in my life and thinking, how could this happen to me? Then it was just like, why not you? This refined you. This made you stronger. This gave you a level of awareness that you may not have had. This is something that you could withstand. Somebody else might not have been able to. And so now, because you are overcoming it, because you have overcome it, because you have understood it, now you can take and pass the baton on to the next person. You can use your voice to empower somebody else. You can express your love and support over somebody, over this invisible abuse, over this, what other people can't see, what other people can't feel. Because a lot of the times, people will tell you, like, listen, get over it. It was just a relationship. It wasn't even that serious. People go through worse. No, it was not just a relationship. It was torture. It was a nightmare. It was abusive. Just because they haven't experienced it doesn't mean it's not real. But now you are equipped. You're equipped and you are strong. You're powerful. You're sharp. You have knowledge. So go and share it, go and share it. There are things like, we talked about tonight that I was really, I was kind of like, just so uncomfortable about, like, you really want to go and talk about a limp biscuit? Yes, because we need to share these things with one another so that there is no shame, so that we know that, what, we're not alone when we go through these things, so that we know that, what, okay, I can move on, because I thought I was crazy, but now, what, the whole comment, everybody came up and showed out how it was for them. And so we move forward. And whatever life has in store for you, you've already overcome something like this. So you can always look back and say to yourself, what, I went through that abuse. I've got this too. You've just been empowered. And again, like, you've learned that you've learned about, or you're still learning, we're all learning about how wicked, how cunning the enemy is, and how, he comes in not how we would expect it. He doesn't show up with his horns on display. He shows up beautiful, shows up charming, charismatic, the one that we feel like, ooh, this is for us. But it's not. But you've been seasoned. You've been prepared for this, and you're ready. So many of you are ready to go and take the next step. And I want to challenge you to step outside the boat. I always say, like, we can't stay in one state for too long, because then we run the trouble or the risk of getting too comfortable and never transitioning into our next. But I want to challenge you that yes, when you are strong enough and you feel like, I should, then go ahead. Take the next step so that you can move forward. You don't want to be bound by the narcissist and all of that mess that they did to us. No, now go ahead and share what you have. So if it's your channel that you're starting, please, by all means, if it's your podcast, if it's a radio show, if it's a TV show, whatever it is, there's so much more. There's so much more. Some of you are artists and make beautiful pictures. Express how you feel those ways, and let us see, share with us what you are doing. But I just want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I thank you for taking, time out of your day. It's been almost an hour and 20 minutes and it went by so fast, but thank you so much for being here tonight and for supporting me and supporting one another. It's really amazing. Sometimes I don't have the chat time always to be in the comments, but then when I go and I'm ready and I've set some time aside so that I can respond to people, I'm like, oh, look at this, they love each other. And it's so beautiful to see. It's so beautiful to see. It's amazing, and I thank you guys for being so supportive of me and for allowing me into your journey, and we can all grow together. So I wish you all a wonderful week and have an awesome, 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 awesome rest of the week. And I will be back here next Tuesday. Oh, so next Tuesday. So one of my friends started a podcast on Motherfuck Yourself. She grew up with a narcissistic mother. And, she talks about this day in and day out. So she's going to join me. Her name is Sharissa. And we're going to talk about unmotherfucking yourself for those of you who have dealt with this type of woman. So yeah, I just said it. But anyway, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Have a blessed rest of the week. Enjoy your evening. And till next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.